Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again, and we're going to do some testing again on the E1500LFP. Now, I put my systems in a different configuration. One thing before we get testing is, let me turn the screen on here. Give me 1 second here. I always turn this off to save energy, that way it kind of goes in the background. Not off, but you know, like faded down or dimmed down, so you can save some power. If you forgot how to do it, all you gotta do is go into the system settings on the bottom of the app, and then you go to right here, and you just click that button right there, and it says no operation, automatically reduce the brightness. Okay, so back that up and then back that up. Oop. Okay, now I'll leave that open here. That way we can see this in real time. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Hopefully you can see it up there. Okay, so the neat thing with this system is normally you would not want to run systems like this close together. It's not a good idea for the air. The air quality has to be able to breathe, you know, for the cooling. But the neat thing with this system is, well, we don't use that stack. That's our mobile stack that goes outside when we have outdoor events and things. And these two are for the shop now. So the cool thing about it is on this system, the input is on the left side, and the input on the new system is on the right side. So when you put both of the inputs together, the cool air sucks through the middle and then goes this way, and the hot air blows that way, and then the hot air blows this way. So that's not affected whatsoever as far as the cooling of the system. All right, so now that we got some testing started here, this is what kind of everybody wants to see, is, you know, the loads and everything. Now, I don't have all the fancy testing equipment. I just use average, ordinary, everyday items, and I think that's going to suffice for this. So I have a let's see, let me put this over here. I think this is called a Polonis. This is one of those portable heater things. It doesn't have any roller feet on it, because we actually mount this from on a wall. There's a metal plate that we used to put and then not metal, a backing, you know, so that way it doesn't burn the wall. And then we have this sitting in like a trailer area where that used to heat up, but we no longer have that, but I still have the heater. So I'm going to use that. This is, I think, a 6, a 9, and a 1200 watts, and it's got a pretty good surge on it here. It's a little dusty. We haven't used it in a while here. Now, one of the things I noticed on this system that frustrates me, there's not many things that frustrate me on this system, guys, but one of them is the app's got a little bit of quirkiness to it. I think that needs updates, and I've been saying that since video number 1. And the obvious, guys, the old E2000 has 6 AC receptacles, or AC ports. That's awesome. I love that. I understand why they had to cut these down. I wish they could have put at least 4 in there, but I do understand they want to keep a certain amount of distance. It would have been nice maybe if they could have stacked up 6 of them right together and have those, you know, you know, like in a house, they have 2 of them, 2 of them, 2 of them. That would have been cool. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of things packed in this little box here, a lot of technology. And with the charger inside there now, you're getting less space, obviously, to work with. That's why they had to pull some of the batteries out. Finally, we actually have sun today, and I was really surprised. I was up since early here waiting for the sun. I heard finally after about, it's almost getting 2 weeks, guys, since we got any sun. So I'm going to let this go in real time, and we're going to charge it and we're going to discharge it in the exact same time, and that way you can see. I'm going to do a surge capacity to the best of what I can here. I'm going to use every little heater device that I have here, and we're going to use the charging here. And I have 438 watts coming in through this array, which is, let's see, this is the 6 Harbor Freight panels in series parallel, 3 to 2, 3 and 3, and then, you know, those to the 1, well, 3 to 1, I guess you could call it. Well, but it's hard to explain. So there's 3 panels and 3 panels, and then you put them together in parallel like that. Okay. And then I have 1 in the battery, which is 800 watts at two RUIXU 400 watt panels, and they're in parallel. The reason they're not in series is because those panels, I have two on that one and two on that one, and we have these trees right now at this time of the year, and it's such a pain in the butt that we actually get more energy in if we use the parallel system in the winter time. And we're going to test out more with these series in the summer, because obviously when you have any kind of a shading problem, parallel actually helps you better than serial, because if the sun is on one panel and not on the other one, it destroys the power of this one too, because they're working together. Where parallel, this arm is doing this much work, this panel, and then this panel is doing its own work, so they're both working together that way, separately, if that makes sense. So we have 400 watts going into here and 400 watts going into this one, and then 439. Now I'm still obviously with this is about 22,000 watts of battery cells here, which is more than I ever thought I'd get. But I'm aiming for 100,000 watts, guys. That's what I'd like to get. I think that would be the cat's meow for what I want and need in life. We have 438 coming off the 600 watt array, and then we have let's see, about 285 going into the first battery off 800 watt array, which is the two in parallel, and then the other one we're getting 239 watts into the bottom one. So you got 2, 4, 6. I'm sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're getting about 900 watts in the system right now. So we have a very decent amount of power coming in, which this one I'd like to get maxed out at 7, but I have to buy more panels, guys. So this stuff is expensive, so every time you turn around you got to spend more money, whether you're buying your battery packs or your systems or your panels or just cables, guys. Cables, holy crap, Zilla, man, you buy a roll of that cable set, you're out a couple $100 sometimes. Okay, so what I was talking about with the receptacles here is you only get 3, so that is a frustrating thing, guys. Like you'll see for this test, because I only have certain things here. I have this heater, which we're going to plug in, and then we're going to you'll see that let's see, let's turn it on. Let's see, I'll turn it on low, and then what I'll do is I'll step it up slowly, that way we can watch the reaction of the system to that amount of power. You know what I mean? So we can kind of go through stages here. So I came up with this device here. I wanted to have enough, like this is I think a 20 amp cable. This is a heavy duty cable, as you can see how thick that is. So I came up with this, which is frustrating to say the least, but it's the only thing I could think of right now, because of the lack of the ports. And believe me, I really miss those 3 extra ports. Especially if you have just random things plugged in. Okay, so I go through the handle like this, all right, and this just works for us. You can do however you want to do it. Okay, and then I kind of set it right there. Okay, and then I twist this around, and then I plug it in this first one here, and it seems to work really good. It fits. It's very secure there. Normally, guys, I am not a fan of any extension cords, especially for heavy loads, because it's just not a good idea. You create extra connections where you shouldn't need or want them, and the heat can build up in those. And being this is a very, very, very heavy cord, this is probably you could probably pull 30 amps through here, and it wouldn't care. I mean, you can see the distance, the difference. This is a heavy duty cord. This is a monster cord. This is from an RV, so they always give you the very heavy stuff. All right, so we're pulling 658 watts, ballpark at 660. There you go, 660 watts. It's on low, and we'll let that go for just maybe a minute or two, just so you can kind of see that the system doesn't have to struggle with it. I noticed on this one, guys, when I draw 100 to 200 watts, that's the norm at night when these kind of rest down. Is 100 to 300 per system is my normal when I'm not using all the stuff, with all the background stuff going on. This one runs really, really quiet, and I think what that is being it's a little bit bigger case with less stuff in there, it generates less heat. So the sound, if I can just be quiet for a second, most of that's coming from this one. Matter of fact, I would say probably 80% of the sound you're hearing is coming from this system, but you know, we are pushing it pretty heavy. This one's only bringing in 160 watts about, and I'm only using just under 100 here, as you can see. So this system is extremely quiet. I wish that I could upgrade this system to have these features. The app it's okay, it's nice to have. Like I said, it's a little quirky, so I'm a little apprehensive at times to use it because as you see in real time, hopefully it crashes randomly. Now, like I said, I still don't realize or know if that's my internet, my phone, or the thing, the unit. So that's hard to know for sure, and I don't want to blame either of without fully testing it. Okay, so we ran that for a while, guys, and oh, let me get my temperature thing here. That way I'll use the tools that I do have, and we can kind of see, we'll just kind of see the system, see? So 74 degrees is very, very, absolutely excellent. Actually, it's just a few degrees. There's 80. Obviously, your heat's going to be towards the top of the box, and the inputs here, as you can see, it's about 86 degrees at 440 watts. Now, the rest of the energy is coming in through the batteries, through the cables, guys. Let's see, so 70 on that side, and naturally, obviously, that's going to be the hot side because that's where your charging stuff is. So I noticed that when you use this one and this one together, obviously this side is going to heat up a lot more, guys, because you have the solar coming in through that board, you have the MPPT controller heating up, and if you have it set to UPS as well, any extra energy that you're pulling from the wall is heating up this portion. So yes, this without that box, it does create more heat, and what that leads to is more noise, obviously, because the fans never really seem to shut off when you pull 100 to 300 watts on this system. Where this one, if you pull 100 to 300, it shuts off, and there's more space in there. Here, did you hear it? It kicked up a little bit, but obviously it's really not a fair test between the two right now because you're seeing, you know, I mean, between those two, that's almost 1100 watts right there, going through the system, and then there's another 250 at about 250. So what is that? 1600 watts they're running through the system, about 1700 watts running through the system, and you're getting see 83 degrees, 84, 87, and that's right on the port, guys. The battery cells itself, if the battery, I'm assuming that the MPPT controller is going to be here. I haven't opened this box yet, but the MPPT controllers in this one is right in the front and right in the front. So I'm going to assume that they put it in the same configuration. I have to open it and double check. Hopefully I can get a system that's broken down so I can see it. Not broken down, but, you know, well, you know, they always call it a tear down, where you open a system up. But I'm waiting to do that because I want to test it fully before I have to get in there, or want to even get in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pump this up. Now this will go to medium, and that'll draw, as you can see, okay, you see that surge there? So it's an extra maybe 300 to 400 watts of surge there for a second. So now we're just under 1,000 watts, probably about 9, I'm going to ballpark that 960. So now you're putting a much more strenuous load on the system. And now with this, I can put a couple extra once I max this out at full capacity. I think 1,200 watts, I think, is the most. I think it's like 6-ish, 9-ish, and 12-ish. Which, you know, they always rate them, guys, at like 1,500 watts. And, you know, you never really get what they rate stuff at. You know, it's very rare. Here's the rating here, guys. Yeah, it says a 1,500 watt heater. This will pull maybe at surge 1,500 watts, but it sure doesn't run at 1,500 watts. Okay, so about 950. You can hear the bubbles. I haven't used that in quite a while. So that's the liquid oil. Obviously, that's heating up, and then you'll hear snaps and bubbles. Those who have radiated systems, obviously, they know the sounds. So the sounds are coming from here and not the system, of course. All right, so we'll let that go for another minute or so. And then we got a trusty 400 watter here, and then we'll plug that in. Well, actually, we'll wait. Make sure that you know, it's a fair test here, guys, and we'll see the heat again here and see. I think this is the most important test that we can make sure, other than obviously do all the ports work, is the load draws, because you buy these for the energy. You don't buy them to stare at them. So if they work and the the draws can do what they say they're going to do, or very, very, very close, I'm okay with that. So, like, you know, like a 100-watt USB, if it comes out at 99 watts, I'm okay with that. This one came out 100 watts right on the button. So, good job, Pecron. That first one came out at 65 watts, but anyone who buys this model now, which is still, I love this model, it's a great model, but now you get the 100 watts right out. I've been saying that for months now. So that's very nice, very cool that you don't have to do. What I had to do is upgrade this board right here. And, you know, that's a little scary. I'm not an electrician. I'm just a guy who kind of messes around with electronics from time to time. All right, let's see the temperature here, using about 950 watts. So you see we're still under the 75 mark here on the bottom. Up on the top, it's obviously where your heat's going to go. These don't work very good on the screen sometimes. And then over on the heating side, you're seeing about 86. Let's see, yeah, about 86. And then on these ports here, where the other strain would be, like probably here is where the energy's coming out, 76. So the ports stay very, very cool, guys. Very, very cool. You would think after pulling out, you know, 1,000 watts out of, that's all coming out of oh, I'm sorry, that's coming out of the black one in the middle here. Let me double check that. Okay, yeah, see, look at that, 74, 75, 76. So you would think, guys, pulling out 1,000 watts on this little cable here, that there would be some heat buildup, and there's none, absolutely none. 75, but that's also cool for this and cool for the system. Anytime you can keep the heat down, guys, that's a plus, absolute plus in electronics. Okay, so let's bump it up now. So now we're going to go all the way to high. You're going to see that surge. 1,500 watts. See, there's your 15. Oh, guys, look at that. It's actually using it. Holy crap, Zilla. It's actually over. Okay, I stand corrected. Normally, these things are rated at 15, and then they pull out like 1,200 watts. So, all right, now you can hear the fan really ramp up here. We're using, that's about 2,000 watts here through the top of the system. And don't forget, guys, we're putting another 500 watts-ish through the batteries, too. So this system is really working you know, hard now. You know, it's earning its paycheck for sure now, to keep a draw like that. Now, one of the problems also that Pecron had for many models, guys, is their rated capacity is that's always been good. You know, I get my 2,000 watts out of here, and this one I'm testing literally for the first time right now, full rated power and surge. I'm going to try the best I can here. Of what I have to use, but I've always got the 2,000 here, and then this one we're testing. But the surge on this one, guys, you have you know, if it is 4,000 watts, I have no fancy electronics to test that fully, but when I go up to about, you know, 2,010 or 50 for longer than a second or two, instantly it pops. So the second you get past 2,000 watts on this, guys, for any amount of time, second, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'll pop to AC. So we're hoping that this can go up higher. The tests I saw on this one went up to about 2,400 watts for a matter of minutes. So hopefully we can test that too. All right, so we're actually pulling 1,550 watts. Oh, guys, I forgot. So remember, we had a load on here before we turned the system on, remember? Okay, that's why it looks so high. All right, let's see, what are we, I turned it off just for a second to see what we started with. All right, so we have an extra 50. So yeah, there you go. You got your 1,500 watts. So we'll do a surge real quick. So you got 6, 9, 11, 14. Okay, so now it makes sense. Okay, so that's not actually using 1,550 or 60. It's using about 1,500, which it's rated at that. I'm surprised that it does that. Okay, so that makes more sense. Now, you hear the fan? That's almost at max fan right now, guys. And obviously we're yanking out a lot more than we're putting in. 400 watts plus about 500, so that's 900 coming in through the solar in that port, and that port, and then we're bringing out about 1,550. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump it up, guys, but we're going to jump it up slowly. I want to go slowly to see if and where there is any problems in a system as far as charging. We're going to put a 200 watt on here. Okay, and that way we can see exactly where, and that's where this comes in, guys. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this, having to put this cord on here. I just had it laying around, so I thought I'd use it. I really really seriously miss, and these are those old tags, it's not burn marks or nothing, that's old, that stupid tags you try to rip off there and they never rip off. You know, like, please don't use the heater in the shower. It's the world we live in now. Okay, that you have to tell somebody that. Don't curl your hair in the shower. Warning, yeah, warning. Okay, so we're going to turn this one on, and we're going to draw a little bit more here, and we're going to really push it up. Rather than push it up all at once, we're going to push it up slowly and see if it can handle that load in due time. Okay, so now we're pulling out 1750 watts. Now, these are rated about 200, and I usually get maybe about 180 out of here. Hopefully you can, I don't think you can see those guys, can you? Let me see if I can back this up just a tad bit more here. Alright, can you guys see this down here? Hopefully. Okay. Thumbs up if you can. No? Okay. I can't hear you, so. Alright. And I'm watching through a GoPro screen that's really tiny, so it's hard for me to see stuff sometimes. Hopefully down the road, guys, I'll get some better equipment here. But I've spent a lot on this equipment, so obviously the well runneth dry, if you know what I mean. You guys are probably in the same boat. You know that when you buy this stuff, you're like, holy crap, man, this stuff, I feel like I bought a car in a car, you know, when I was a kid. Okay, so we're going to plug in another one, and we're going to run... Okay, we're going to run another one here, and we're going to bump that up, and we're really going to kick the crap out of this system here. So now we're 1900. Now remember, this is a 2200 watt inverter rated, and this is only a 2000. Now the nice thing about that, guys, is you get that extra 200 watts. That's big if you're running things like, you know, compressors for fridges, freezers, which we are, and that surge power. Sometimes it takes a little bit, you know, before it comes back down, and that gives you 200 watts more of what's known as headroom, extra room on top. That way you have more of a backup plan. So here we're just under 2,000 watts here. That's almost the rated watts of this bad boy over here. This hasn't crashed. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. Let me see if I'm going to refresh it here. Whoop, spinning, and I'm going to see. You know, some days the Wi-Fi is good. I'm not a fan of Wi-Fi, guys. I'm not a fan of Wi-Fi. And I also, guys, for some reason, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me. You know, I have a lot of questions too, because I'm learning too. I cannot get this to connect to Bluetooth to save my life. I don't know, like, I followed the instructions. I'm on Wi-Fi right now, but this is 5G, I think, and my network is 5G. And I wonder, on Pecron's page on YouTube, it says that sometimes it has trouble with 5G. Now, I can't verify that because I don't have 2.4G anymore. I only have a 5G fiber optic cable run. So, all right, we're going to put, so I'm still waiting on that. And like I said, I'm not an app guys, you know, I app comma guys. So obviously I don't have a lot of knowledge in the phones. I'm not a phone guy. Not a fan of cell phones, guys. I know we need them, but I'm not a fan of all the apps and the information and all that stuff. You know, older folks, you know, past 40 and 50, we usually tend to have kind of set in our old ways, kind of, you know, less computer. I love computers, but when it came to phones, it's just like I missed the boat on that, I guess. All right, so here I'm going to draw another. So as you can see, I got one here, and one here. Hopefully you can see that, guys. Let me pan down here. Okay, so you got one. Let me see if I can get all this on there, guys. I'm getting too much stuff here. My shop is shrinking. All right, that's why I had to kind of reset them in there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on, and now we're going to go over that 2,000 mark here, and we're going to see what happens in real time. The Wi-Fi says it's on. Now we're about 2,100. Oh, you know what we didn't test here, guys? Here, I'm yapping away here. We're going to test the heat. So now we're 2,100, and now we're ran out of holes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the 200s out, and I'm going to put a 400 out, and that'll push it up another 200, which should put it more than that 2,200 watt rated. And then what I'll do is I'll turn them all off, and then turn them all on at once, and we'll see what that surge power can do. But I've been really waiting for this test, and I wanted to do it while I was charging from solar, because I think that's the most strain that I can put on the system. And I'm also going to do one more level on top of that. I'm going to put, actually 2 levels. I'm going to put a 100 watt draw out the system for charging that Energizer up there at 100 watts to the USB-C power delivery port. So that'll add another 100. So maybe I'll do that first. That way we can see it run at its rated capacity. And guys, it's really getting hot in here, and I love it because it's wintertime. I have 1500 watt heater, 200, 200, 200. So that's 17, 19. I get 2100 watts-ish of heaters right in front of me. So I'm very much enjoying this test. So if I do fall asleep, wake me up. Okay, we're gonna test the heat. Now, as you can see, that the system heated up a little bit, but it's 79. Guys, that's nothing. I mean, look, we're running 2500 watts through that box, and another maybe 400 to 500 watts through the batteries, which is about 250 and 250. The solar it's the first good solar day that we got. So I want to make use of it. And my panels are not set up 100% perfect, guys. They're more of a temporary install of all the testing. I don't have a permanent install of any solar panels anywhere yet. They're all kind of mobile, so I can move them around. And that's, I've only done this for a year or two, so I'm still learning solar patterns. It really takes a long time, guys, because you have to do it in real time. Solar power doesn't come with an instruction manual saying that, if you put it in that part of your yard, it'll work perfectly. You have to literally try it for a year and see, or maybe 2 years, and you keep your notes, guys. As you can see here, I go through all the systems that I'm testing, and as you can see here, I have like all these little notes here, guys. I feel like I'm writing a book, which I kind of am. This will be the what is different between the E1500LFP and the E2000 LFP, and I think everybody is gonna really enjoy that video, because as you can see, there's a ton of stuff in there. A lot of information, and that's 24 hours a day testing. These have not shut off. This has been on for more than a year, and this has been on since the day I bought it. So I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't even know. I don't even know. It's been on since the day I got it, with no breaks, no pauses. All right, so we're going to test up here. So now to notice that that's up to about 92 on the input, right? Because now we're building heat in there for sure. And the fan is on, I believe, 100% right now. I don't have a decibel reader, otherwise we could know that too. And then we're going to go on these where we're drawing out all the energy here. This is the amazing thing, guys. You see that? 82, 84. Right around the ports, 82. I saw 84 in there, guys. That I don't know. I think that's amazing, guys. Like I said, I'm not an electrician. This one's obviously warm to the touch, because this is pulling out the most, and it's such a skinny wire. You'd think that they put a bigger wire on a heater like that, but I've had no problems with it. I've had this for probably 10 years. And then these are ice cold. So like this wire here, if I can get it on there, see it's 79 on that wire, and then you have 75 on this, which is obviously going to be cooler because this is a monster cable, guys. And then this one is obviously going to be, see, 79, 80. So that's obviously going to be the hottest one because it's the skinniest one running the most power. But here you got 2100. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out the rated load. I'm going to take this bad boy here. I sure am glad you guys spent a day with me here with my new hobby and your new hobby, and we can learn together as a team. That's what this subscriber family is for. Alright, so we're going to put on the DC now. There you go. So you got AC on and DC's on. Now I never use, I'm not a DC guy anymore unless it's a USB-C. So I it's always been sitting. As you can see, that's not on either, and there's nothing plugged in. From time to time you'll use it. I never use the wireless charging because I don't have a phone, but I do have, those little, my wife got me, she handed them down to me, I don't know what they're called, like earbuds, little white ones you put in your ear and you can make phone calls and stuff, listen to music. So she didn't need those because she bought the Pro version, so she handed me down, which I'll take the older version. Now this one, I'm gonna see. I don't have a good place to put this. Here, guys, let me do some rearranging here live. Let me put this bad boy over here. Let's take the two Blue Eddies out of the way. I like those systems too, guys. If you need something portable, those Blue Eddy systems are fantastic. But I do like this one as well. That E1500LFP is fantastic. So if I were to pick between all of them, it all depends on the features you need. I do like that one because that can put out a lot of power, but the AC2A is very, very tiny. So it all depends on the situation that you're involved in. Okay, so I'm going to plug this bad boy right into here, and this is an input power delivery port, which is awesome. I wish every power station had this, and we'll see in real time. Hopefully you can see that number. See, it's going up now, and what that's going to do now is it's going to put 100 watts less on this one. So we're gonna work this side, and then the AC side is still 2100 watts. And I don't have any more plugs, so I'm gonna have to pull one of these and put the 400 on there. But now the system itself is putting out 2200 watts for sure, and I believe that this one is a charge through from the DC, so that's not affecting the AC inverter, of course, but it is definitely, you know, starting to strain the system. As you can see, that's almost 2400 watts that we're running from this tiny little box that weighs 40 pounds. That's awesome in itself. It looks like it hasn't crashed, guys, so that's cool. Here it says, oh, I noticed this, guys, here. This is another thing about the app here. So it says 429 is the input. Now this is nice on the app though, because notice that when you draw from this meter, notice it says only 320, right? And this says 420, right? About. So where's that extra 100 watts, right? Remember, we're power dumping it through the USB-C, and it's coming out at 99 watts. Hopefully you can see that. If you can't see it, let me bring this down here real quick here. There, you can see 99 watts that we're putting into the Energizer system. That's one of the main reasons I keep that around. I'm not a big fan of the Energizer one, but I love the port. So every power station has its pro points and its weaknesses, obviously. It's pros and cons. So that's nice. With using this thing, it'll remind you, just in case you forget, that you're actually getting 400 watts plus of solar, 429 it says, of solar, when it looks like you're only getting 320. So that's a nice way to log your information if you're keeping track of your panels and you want to charge something in the process, just so you don't forget. You know, you write down the wrong number, it screws up your whole your outcome of your test. So that was a very cool thing to see, that it gives you the real input, see 428, and not the converted input already, because it's already minusing 100 off there. Hopefully you understand, you know, that I tried to explain as best I could, but what's nice about that is, like I said, it keeps a better log. I really wish that this thing would log the numbers. You guys, let's see, you know, you get your energy bill from your electric company, and it shows you that graph there, like that. EcoFlow and Blue Eddy have that on the bigger systems, where, you know, it'll show, like, you know, 1000 watts, 1200 watts, 900 watts, 800 watts, 700, you know, like, or, you know, I went backwards on 7, but you can kind of understand what I'm saying is you get that grid printout, and you can see where your spikes are. Usually you get a bell curve in solar, which is here the sun's coming up, right, strongest part, and then you get the other side of the bell curve, which the stock market has that. Waves have that. The ocean, it's a natural formation for, you know, anything that rises, it eventually will fall. So yeah, I think I did. Let me see. Yep, okay, I hit it. I always like push these buttons like that, guys, on accident. Like I said, I'm not a phone guy, so let's put this back. So that is a nice thing, guys. That's a really cool thing. And then the output is 2205, and notice that that's 2100. So the output is not 100% accurate from the representation of the numbers here to the numbers here. And this power factor, guys, that doesn't work for nothing. I want to see this fixed, Pecron. This says 116 volts, and that I could believe that. Nope, see? So the voltage, oh wait, it refreshed, 120, 119. So and 60 hertz, of course, that never changes, but I would like to see this power factor. I wish they wouldn't have took the power factor off here, guys. On this system, if you look, well, you got to turn it, okay, wait, there you go. See, power factor 0.9. I guarantee that this is either 0.9 or lower, because, well, it's a lot of heaters, but remember, I have other stuff running in the background that have motors and compressors on it. But to see 0.8, right? And then this one still says 1.0. So this does not work. And I don't know if that's something they're going to implement. I hope. Notice I'm dropping power pretty quick, because I lost about 2 or 3% now total, because look, I'm yanking power out of this box, man. I'm yanking 2200 watts total. Okay, so now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to push it I wish I could have 100 more watts. That was my idea, to pull 100 watts, but I forgot that it registers on the DC and not the AC. All right, let me see here. Let me do some thinking here. You know what? Let's just go over it. Let's take this one off here. We're gonna pull off one. Okay, and like I said, this is where you have a trouble with this system, is these darn ports. So you'd have to either buy something like this. It's very safe and fantastic idea, but I'd rather have the power strip with the surge in it. That way you have a surge protector, a circuit, and that way if it pops you have safety. This is just a straight on cable. So we're going to pull this 200 watt heater out of here. These are awesome, by the way, guys. If you don't have a My Heat one, I highly recommend those. I've had those for more than 10 years, and I bought 6 of them. I tried to get every color that they had. I don't know why. I just I just bought one of every color, because we got them for like 10 bucks a piece when they first came out. It was really, really low, and fantastic little heaters. Okay, so I'm going to plug this one in now. Now remember, this is a 400 watt heater. I want to push this. We're getting spaghetti wires here, guys. Let me see if I can clean up this run a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let me put one of these bad boys here. I'll put a little clamp there, and then that'll hold the wires off to the side, and that way you can see that screen. Now, oh, this is already on, guys. See, look, it's already running. But look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Holy crap, Zilla. I want to swear, but I can't. 2,400 watts it just hit. And guys, it's doing it. Now, this is a huge upgrade from this system here. Let me see if I can get this out of the way. Now remember, this is rated at 2,200 watts, right? But you're seeing in real time, and let me get my app there. Here you go. So you're running 2,400 watts according to the app, or 2,300 according to the screen, which obviously one of them is going to be incorrect, right? Now I put a small kilowatt meter on there, and I tested it. This is definitely off, and you can see it's off by 100 watts. That's a lot if you're trying to keep records, guys. So Pecron, we gotta work on this app. Yeah, we're watching it in real time here. See, 2,400 and about 2,300. But guys, look at that. Look, it's doing it, right? That's all you want from a product, is to do what the heck it says on the box. That's it. I don't want anything extra is a bonus. But boy, is it hot in here. Holy crap, Zilla. I wish I had a temperature. It's got to be every bit of 80 degrees in here. That'll do that in a 120 square foot shop with a couple thousand watts of heaters on there. But yeah, we're watching it real time. Now remember, we got the 100 watt draw coming out the USB-C into the Energizer, and that's still going, right? And then we have 2,300 watts, guys. Oh, where's the here? I'm going to test the heater now, because we're really pushing the system, man. So now you're about 87, 88 on here's 90. I saw 90 in there. 93, 81. That's obviously the cool side, guys. So we're still 97 on that side. And then in the charging area-ish, you got 93, 95. I saw 95 in there. 95. Oh, there's 100. Okay, so right in this area is obviously going to be the hottest for the charging. And then I'm going to do one more here, guys. 98, 99. Okay. Now we're going to go over by the ports, because that's where all the energy is coming out there. Those obviously heated up. So the system is obviously heated up. But guys, look what we're doing to this thing. You know, if you add this all together, you have, through this system itself, 23 or 24. I believe that one's correct. I think this one's off. 2,300 watts right now running through this little box, right? That's a ton. Oh, here's the cable heat too. Not to get distracted, but so 90 watts on the cable. Sorry, 90 degrees on the cable. You're running 2,300 watts through this little box here. That's amazing to me. Just that in itself. I mean, it's a 40-pound box, right? And then the batteries are about 60 apiece. But you're also bringing in 400 watts through the same box. You're also dragging out 100 watts through the USB-C, right? That's still going. And look at the temperatures, guys. You're 100 watts. Are you kidding me? If I were to push my car this hard, this would be, 220 degree. There's 102 I saw. 102. Okay, yeah, I mean, my car would probably die if I pushed it that hard, So, I know some of the guys out there got race cars and they're like, I can handle that. Well, you know, this is a 40-pound box. You got to remember that. This isn't a V8 motor, you know, a big Hemi engine or a semi truck. This is a scooter in a generator world, if you will, a motor world. But look at that, guys. I don't know how long it's been going. 3, 4, 5 minutes now, and it's actually higher than what it's rated at. So holy crap, holy crap. All right, so we're gonna push the system one more, guys. I think that alone over this system, 1,000,000,000% upgrade as far as the AC inverter that can handle more. This is the first time that I've seen a Pecron product, other than maybe this one, that can actually do more than what it says. That is a damn good direction for Pecron to be going in. I'm glad I spent my personal money on this system, because this was definitely an upgrade. I don't need that much power, but it sure as hell is nice to be able to have that if you do need it. I mean, look, it's 2,300 watts, guys. 2,300 watts out of a 40-pound box. That's insane to me. Okay, so this one, we're going to push it one more level. I don't know what else I can do other than we're going to start charging it and use the UPS from the grid and add that. Now, this is not the correct cable, guys. I want to warn you. Do not use the incorrect cable, guys, because if it's not rated enough, it will get very hot and heat up. I can run this cable about 5 minutes before it starts getting, it's not a dangerous, but warmer than I like it, because it's the grid plug is way over there, and it's the only one that I have that would reach this far. So guys, always use the recommended and supplied cables if you're gonna, you know, do any, especially if you put this out of sight. You know, you don't want to do that with electronics, especially running this much power. You want to keep an eye on it, guys, because this amount of power can turn your house into ashes in no time, because you get one short at couple thousand watts. That's a lot of power going through. All right, so we're going to plug this bad boy into the system in real time. You're going to see the reaction of it. Okay, we're going to turn this back on. We've got 100 watts going. I think, guys, oh, here's the app. We're going to put that back up here. Oh, see that, guys? Look at that, guys. So we had the AC tripped. Okay, so let's turn all the heaters off. And that's why you do the test here, guys. Now it says that we're getting the input, which is obviously the solar plus the wall, the grid. Okay, but look at that. It tripped that, guys. Okay, so let's turn the AC back on. That's why we test this stuff. That's the whole reason. Okay, now the UPS is active because the inverter's on. And then we're also charging here, and we're charging through here. And then remember, we're still coming in through the batteries at about 500 watts, maybe a little bit more. One is doing more than the other because the sun is, you know, with the panels and the trees and these big things, you know, you get it. Okay, so what I was using on the other side of the room is the reset now. And now we're going to turn this back on high. Okay, so this one's going to go back on, but that's a good test, guys. That's a real good test, because in real time, you're seeing, when I plugged that in, you had that power spike, right? And I wonder, guys, I had I think it was 2 people. Yeah, the one girl, that nice young lady, I think it was Cheryl, I couldn't get a hold of, guys. I think her fuse popped. So maybe, guys, that what you just saw is a big power surge from the grid in through the system, and maybe that is possibly what's popping those fuses. Because remember, it was enough to turn off that AC inverter, or it was just enough to, you know, kick. Because remember, we were burning 2,300 watts out of that AC inverter. So I don't know if that's a fair test. Like I said, I'm not an electrician. I'm just a guy who bought a bunch of stuff and really enjoyed a lot. So here we're pulling out 1,400. Now notice this went down, guys. Did you guys see that? Okay, well, pulling 1,400 watts on this bad boy, and we're bringing in from the system. Now, maybe what that is when the system heats up, you know, the battery cells heat up, guys, the charging drops down to protect the battery cells. So let's see if we have, now we have no way to test the heat inside. Oh, I heard something click. Did you hear it? Okay, you hear that? I don't know what that is. Something's clicking. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was the UPS turning on and off. Okay. But that's why we're doing this. And this, guys, remember, this is the first time I've ever pushed the system this much. I wanted to do this in real time because I'm not making commercials here. I'm making real reviews in real time so people can see the pluses, the minuses, the goods, the bads, the uglies, everything. I want to put everything out there. So, you know, this is a lot of money. This is a $3,500 system sitting here. And I want people to know everything that they can before they put out money. And that way there's no surprises kind of thing. You know what I mean? So if I was to buy a car and I know, like here, say, I don't know, this is a little off topic, but we're letting the time do its thing here. Say you bought a car and you know that model, that year car has a crappy transmission, right? So if you know that going in, you make a much better informed buy because you go, well, hell, I can buy a transmission and replace it. I'll just get the car cheaper, right? So that way, if you know the weaknesses or faults of a system ahead of time, that's a whole lot better for your wallet there. You know what I mean? So, all right. So let's put some more power here. Now, notice that came down a lot, guys. So I wonder why it did that. I have a feeling it's the heat. So once those remember we pushed that battery cells really hard, this system. So you got 90 degrees on the outside. This is the outside of the case, guys. Obviously it's hotter inside the case. So 90s around the ports, 96, about 100 up on the input port. Yep, so 100. Batteries are obviously about 80. So those always stay cool, guys. There's not a lot going on in there. About 80s on both. 80, in between 80 and 84. Let's see the cables here, guys. That cable right on the port is about 90. Remember, we're drawing some power. You guys can't see it because of the angle that I have. This is hot as a dog here, guys. That was a bad idea to grab that. The lights are flashing. Obviously, they're being utilized, both of them. Daggone it, you can't see it, guys. I got too much stuff in the way and these are too close together. But you saw in the other video that was working good. Okay, so let's test this now as far as that one. Maybe it's just too much strain on the system to do that all at once. Pulling 1400 and bringing in 600. Maybe that's you would think that this would be coming from the wall. Yeah, see this cord's starting to get a little warm now here, guys. So I'm gonna stop that test. See, 97 degrees on a cord. This I don't like. But before we stop it, we're gonna turn off the power of the heater, and we're gonna go back to the UPS. Now, see? Okay, see that, guys? So those of you guys who are electricians or sparkies out there, let me know why that impacts that as much as it does. Notice that charging went right back up almost to normal, right? Yeah, that cable is going to be 100 degrees in no time, so I'm going to pull that right away. As soon as it gets to 100, that's my stopping point. So 94. Let's see down here, 93. Let's see up on the port, about 93. I try to, remember this is a temporary cable, guys. I don't let that get past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I yank it. But notice that went up, and then I'm going to hit the power again, right? And we're going to draw about 1400 watts-ish out of there. Now notice that this is going down. See that, guys? Okay. So guys, if you know why that system does that, because like I said, even though that this is a Ramblin Bob Reviews, right? Remember, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy who made a web channel page thing here, and is doing some testing so other people see, my personal experiences as an amateur solar power enthusiast, if you will. But notice that really dropped down, guys. That really dropped down. Let's put this down to 600 once, because I still got a little bit of time on the cable here. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go past 100 degrees. So we're at 95 here. And that's for the safety of the cable, obviously. Okay, so notice that when we drew 600 watts out of this heater, we get the full input, right? You would think that you could bring in 1200 and take out 2200. But I don't, like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a test like this. So, we're checking this in real time, guys. So I'm learning as you're learning, believe me. And I think that's the most real review you can possibly have, is real time. No cuts, no cuts at all. It's straight video. All right, so I'm going to put this up to medium, which will go to about 900 watts, and we'll see if this has any effect. Remember, this is still pulling 100. Yep, see that? It went down to 1,000. Okay, but notice guys, notice that that didn't drop down to the 600, right? Oh, God, you know what, guys? Holy crap, Zilla. I might have the answer. Guys, remember that this AC inverter in here is bidirectional. That would make sense because it only allows so much energy to go through it, either in or out. Now that makes sense to me. Like I said, not being an electrician, sometimes I don't know the answer. That's why I'm doing the test. Okay, so if we're using 1800 watts right now, right? Plus, remember, this is another 100 because we're losing. Where's my app here? See that? So the input is 1160 watts. So if you take 1164 watts plus 860, guys, that's 2000 watts, right? That's right around the rated load of the AC inverter. Now it makes sense to me. Okay, of why. Oh, see there, see that? Connection failed. So we'll wait and see if that comes back on in real time. Like I said, I think there's some bugs in the apps, guys. But like I said, also I'm not a professional of that either. So okay, so it refreshed itself. Okay, but yeah, now it makes sense, guys. So this one has an AC inverter, and when you charge it through AC, it goes to AC through the DC brick and through the MPPT controllers. That's kind of a backing around, so both energy is not going through the AC inverter. So that, guys, that might be a big drawback for those of you guys who are kind of power hungry. That makes a lot of sense now, and I think I figured it out in real time. But yeah, let me check the cable. I want to make sure it's safe here, guys. Okay, 94, 93. So I'm still good. I don't want that to get past 100 degrees. But that would make sense, guys, because that totally went over my head that the AC inverter is bidirectional in here, and this one is not. This is just an output AC inverter. So if this had an input and an output AC inverter charger thing, let me know if I'm right, guys. Maybe I'm wrong, you know. But I think the power would have to go through here, through the AC inverter to the battery cells, and that's why it's cutting it off, guys. So let's go all the way up again to the high, and let's do the math on the input output here. Remember, you got to add 100 here, guys. You got to add, because we still got this 100 going. See, 19. So that's about 2,000, guys. That would make sense, right? So if that's 1900 plus another 100, remember, because in the app you're burning out 15. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yep, see, the output is 1500 watts because this is adding the extra 100 watt from the USB, and this meter is not. And boy, it'd be nice if this meter would reflect that, but it does in its own way, because it wouldn't be smart to put the 100 watt output on this one, because that's the AC inverter. It's a different inverter. You got a DC output and an AC output. So I understand that fully. Now, like, it would be nice if you had DC input, DC output, AC input, and AC output, but guys, you need a whole lot more screen for all of that. Some systems I think have that very detailed, but yet now it makes sense, guys. So that slows down. So keep that in mind, guys. If I'm correct, that being a 2000 plus 2200 watt inverter, guys, no matter if you're going in or out, you've got to stay around that 2200 watts. So you can't bring in 2200 watts and put out 2200 watts, because that would be 4400 watts rated, and that's only rated at 2200 watts. And usually nothing runs 100% of what it says. But we've all learned that with solar panels and how much a pain in the butt solar panels can be. But guys, holy crap, Zilla, that makes sense. Okay, now that I think I figured it out in real time, I'm going to disconnect from the UPS in real time to see. Okay, so we didn't have any power surges there. But notice, guys, when I plugged that in the first time, remember, it shut off the AC. So if you guys know why it did that, I'd sure like to know. Let me throw that cable over here. We're going to test and see how hot this cable got. This is why you shouldn't do this, guys. Right there. Okay, so 93, and then in here in the ports here, see, wait, I saw 95 in there. Oh, hold on a minute. Dang on it. Okay, it's obviously cooling down, guys. I saw a 95 in there, but that's one reason you do not want to use a cable that's not rated for the job, guys. You'll burn down your house. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay, so now I think I understand how the system is set up. And like I said, I'm learning this in real time with you. I mean, we're taking this solar journey together, guys. And what's nice about that is being not a scripted review, you're seeing if I make a mistake in real time, you learn what not to do. In life, I learned how to be much more safe, like cutting down trees, not from learning from the pros. I learned from the people who made mistakes, because if you see a guy cut down a tree the wrong way, you go, I'm never going to do that. And believe me, watching people get hurt is a very, very quick way to learn, because you don't want to see people get hurt. That's terrible. But you can certainly learn, right? You can certainly learn quicker from mistakes than you can the correct way, because when you test the system and find the faults, now you know, oh, okay, don't do that again. That was a bad idea. That's a real quick teacher. Mistakes and pain in life is a real quick teacher, guys. That's holy cow. Having all the flashbacks of all the times where you do stupid stuff, like guys, when you were young, did you try to jack up a car on the side of a road on a little cheap jack that's not rated for the car, and then that jack tip over and that drops down 6 inches? Boy, your life flashes in front of your eyes when you're trying to change that tire. So like I said, pain and mistakes is a very, very quick learner. I remember when I was a kid, I was helping my uncle, and he was installing something. I think it was a phone cord, right? And he ran one of those, I think they're called a snake. You run it through the wall so you can drag the phone cord up. And for some reason, in this old building that we were doing this, the electric wires back in the days, they get really crappy. They fall apart. This building was probably 120 years old, and for some reason he was going to run. I think it was like I don't know what they were going to use it for, but they wanted a phone, maybe like a barn style where you have a phone. It was a building not connected to the house, and I remember reaching up there and grabbing that snake with my bare hands. Never again. And what happened was that snake, that metal snake, rubbed against the part of the wiring of the grid of the house. And I got that. Those of you who have had a shock before, you'll never forget it. You'll get that tingling sensation where you go, ooh. Now, if I would have been in an area that was wet or a bad situation, you know what I'm saying? That could have been the end of me right there. So electricity is not a game. It's not. And I learned at a young age how extremely terrifying and dangerous and deadly, straight up deadly, electricity of any form can be. So that's why I'm going so slow with the solar stuff, because I learned, and I couldn't have been more than, it was a bad idea. I couldn't have been more than maybe 12 years old as just a kid. But I reached up there without my rubber gloves on and pulled that snake down, and I got that, and I was like, woo. Now that was only 120 volts, but that memory it'll last 100 years, I guarantee it. So pain and mistakes will teach you quicker than any professor doing it correctly on the board ever. It will stick in your head, because well, mine stuck through my body, because that shock that scared the crap out of me as a kid. And luckily I'm still here, but that could have turned out real bad, guys. And we already had one person have trouble with their solar setup, and they didn't have all the safety precautions and whatnot. And this young fella lost his home. Just terrible. He was using multiple panels and different configurations of stuff, and maybe the wiring wasn't so good, or this way or that way with the wires, a polarity, and something happened. And he found our channel, and he kind of learned the hard way. Hey, just slow down, and let's go to A before we get to B. You know what I'm saying? And my heart goes out to him. He lost his whole house because of that with solar. So it's not a game, guys. It's not. It's just not a game. All right, so you got 15, 16, 17, 18. Remember, here's 19, right? So you got 1900 watts going. But yeah, that makes sense. One AC inverter to the battery cells, bidirectional. So yeah, that makes sense now. All right, guys, what do you think? Is this a hell of a real test or what? I think this is. Damn, I think I'm going to turn some of these off, guys, because I'm dying of heat in here. Never thought I'd say that in the middle of winter, but wow, wowie, guys, if you're not a subscriber to this channel and you want to follow us on our journey of learning this stuff and learn from either my mistakes or other people's mistakes, or there are good experiences, feel free to join the channel, guys. We'd love to have you here. This is a community that we're building. And like I said, this is not a commercial channel, guys. I'm not getting paid to make commercials. We do get all disclosure. We do get a affiliate commission if somebody were to use our link and support the channel that way. I have no problem telling everybody that, because that's honesty. And let me unplug this, guys. I'm having some trouble here. Trying to do cables one-handed, guys. Yeah, so we have that buy me a coffee. We're not a fan of any company in particular. We have our favorites, obviously, but we give every single company. As you see, there's a handful of power stations from many companies here. You got Energizer, you got Mylan, you got ACOUCOU, Pecron, and you have NURSV over there. I got other power stations. So we on this channel we give everything a fair chance, right? I like these because I have the most of those, so most of my knowledge goes for that company. But I love those. That was one of the first big power stations that I had, is those ACOUCOUs, those 2,000 watters, guys. And if I could have expanded the batteries on these, I would have done that. But that was the reason I found Pecron, basically in the first place. And with Blue Eddy, I really enjoy Blue Eddy, but no disrespect to Blue Eddy. Blue Eddy systems are very expensive, and when you look at this 15,000 watts here, this is about, I think this is roughly about 7,500 or 8,000. Depending on the time you bought it. You buy two of these sets, 8,000. And you buy the AC500, which is the one I really like. That's my favorite system out there right now. That's $15,000, guys, and that's a lot of coin to throw out. Now you don't have to buy that all at once. Of course, you could buy it modular, which these. I wish you could add more batteries on these, guys. Holy crap, Zilla! Like guys, I came up with a really good idea on these. I know I jump around. I apologize. It's coming out, yeah, still coming out 100 watts. Guys, so being that these batteries can adjust to this on the fly, right? I came up with a good idea. If you happen to have more than two, I'm going to buy two more of these, and I'm going to buy the E3600 as soon as it comes out. I have most of the money set aside already, and the credit card for the rest, and I'm definitely going to get that, so I can have 4 batteries on the E3600. So there'll be a tall system. That will be my main system for the workshop, and that'll last a very long time. But now, this is the idea I came up with. I think this is a fantastic idea. So say, remember, this is 3,000 watts, 3,072, but 3,000 watt hours each battery, right? So just imagine if I had 4 of these, okay, and I bought them before I bought the E3600. I could use these two. Like, say if I was camping, there's a lot to take camping, guys. This would be a hell of a hell of a camping trip, Color TV screens for everybody, big screen TVs and cookers for everybody. But let's just, argument's sake, let's say I took that and I used this whole system, this I call it 7.5, it's actually 7.7, 7.5 kilowatt system. And it's in the RV, and we're boondocking somewhere or camping for a week or something, and the solar it just won't, like the last 10 days is crap. So we burnt through this 6 kilowatts of system, right? And we only have enough solar basically to fill this one. So you would take these two off the system, right? And then you would charge this back up with the solar, right? And then you would put the other 2 batteries that I have connected to the system while these are kind of spent off to the side, maybe charging through solar or whatever, or just put off to the side. And then think of it, I get a fresh 6,000 watt hours. And being that this system, you can do that on the fly. You could do that with this one too, I assume. But I like how this adjusts on the fly. So if you do hook this up and you're not within that 10%, like if you put this at 50 and these at 100, guys, as long as you don't use the system, I've seen them balance. Because the voltage eventually, like a swimming pool, if you fill up this side of the pool first, it's going to go like this. That's just how voltage works. Voltage pushes to the less voltage side, the same as a teeter-totter. It works the same way. If this has low voltage and this is higher voltage, it pushes that teeter-totter or that swimming pool to the same. So you just let this balance fully, and you can see that in in this app. Oh, that brings me to another point, guys. That brings me to another point. This meter is weird. This one, okay? And I don't know if maybe I'm making a mistake or something, but notice that this host says it's at 68% in there. But notice up here it says 58%, right? So I think, and this is just a theory, I didn't write the program, so I don't know. I think that this meter can get screwy sometimes. But what doesn't get screwy, guys, is this. This is your main testing parameter. I don't know what to call it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what to call it. This is my main testing parameter. See, it says 53.3 volts. This says 53.2 volts, and this is 53.2 volts. So, guys, if you were to look at that voltage, remember how I said a swimming pool, right? Eventually, a swimming pool will come to 100% flat, unless you're on an angle, of course, right? So, these will all be at this, they're at the same voltage, but notice that this one says 69, 55, and 57. I noticed that these two, the batteries, are always very, very close, within like 1, 2, or 3% of each other, right? But this one is always either lower or higher than those. However, the voltage is all the same, except this is, see, that's 53.3, 53.2, and 53.3. So notice that the smaller one has just a little bit less volts in it than the rest of them. But notice that these two voltages are the same. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the size of the battery pack, guys. Like I said, I'm learning this too. That's only 1,500 watt hours of battery in there, and these are 3,000. I don't know if that affects that meter or the parameters of said meter. I don't know, and that's once again why I'm making these in real time, so people can learn and help me learn too. You know, I'm not the teacher here, guys. We're all students learning this together. And if you're a teacher, speak up, get in that comment section and tell us what we're either doing incorrectly or what we should do next time to have a better test or something like that, you know. Because like I said, even though this says Ramblin Bob Reviews, I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur at best. And I just want to try to help as many people learn as a community as I can. That's the #1 reason that we started this channel. So yeah, I wonder, let's see, it says 69%, but that says 59. Now when you go back, I hate when that phone turns. When you go back, notice that the whole system as a whole says 59%, guys. So maybe Pecron, feel free to, you know, comment on these videos if you know the answer. Help us understand, guys. Do you have the either one battery or two, the full system or not? Let me know what results you're getting on this app to let me know that you know, is this app 100% correct, or does this have glitches in here? Because like I said, there are definitely glitches in this system. Oh, here's the heat, guys, too. 30 Celsius, 29 Celsius, and 27 Celsius. Obviously, the bottom one is always the lowest temperature because that's where the cold air is on the floor. And this one is sandwiched in between two systems, and this one's running all the power for all three of them. So that's a easy one to figure out. But yeah, guys, if you're getting the same results or different results, man, let me know. Let me see if I can. They had this thing where you turn out this thing. Okay, my wife's teaching me about this stuff. See how it doesn't turn no more? I sure hate that when you're doing something and this sucker's spinning away. Like I said, I'm not a phone guy. Phone comma guys. But, all right, well, you've seen it in real time, guys. I mean, it's working. Now, I think fully, guys, if you know the answer to that inverter question, I believe since it's a bidirectional inverter and all the energy goes through that would make sense of why one goes up or down. So know that ahead of time before you buy that system, that it fluctuates there because it has to share the inverter, and that makes perfect sense. It didn't get hot. I think it was 100 watts. I think that's nothing. We definitely, guys, oh, you know what? Holy crap, Zilla, hold on. It's going to be a longer video, guys. Holy crap, Zilla. I got to put this, guys, we didn't do the surge test. Holy crap, Zilla. See, here, I'm rambling so much I forgot one of the tests. All right, thank you for staying with us, guys. I know these are long videos, but like I said, I'd rather see it in real time than hear about it. All right, so what we're going to do is, let's see here. I don't quite know how to do this, so I'm going to try to, I wish I had a power strip where I had a button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bad boy over there. This is still very warm. Okay, and we're going to put this in here. Maybe it'd be better. No, I'll do it this way. Okay. And then we're going to take, let's see. We're going to take these three again. Look at this spaghetti strings, guys. Holy crapzilla. Okay. All right, let me set it up here, guys. All that yap, and I forgot about the surge test, guys. And I know that you guys are very, very curious, as I am, about the surge test. Okay, like I said, this is the first time ever that I'm doing the surge test. So what I'm going to try to do in real time, hopefully you can see this. I got to get a better filming rig here, or a big. I need a bigger shop already, guys. Holy cow! But you know, when I started doing the shop, I didn't think that I would have a million megawatts full of power going in boxes and stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do in real time, guys, is I'm going to turn that on, and that one, and that one. Hopefully you can see these. Okay, I'm going to try to turn them all. I'm going to click away, and we're going to see what the surge can go and see if it can handle it. Okay, ready, guys? All right, so we're going to do that, and that. Okay, so I got them all on here. All right, we're going to see the surge here. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Holy crapzilla, guys, I rambled all the way, and I made the battery die in the GoPro. So I do apologize. Okay, that's 100% now. We're going to redo this real quick, and we're going to do it twice now. So the battery, as soon as I plugged it in and I waited just a second or so, I come back and double check and watch on the camera, and of course the screen is black because the battery died. I out-ramble batteries. That's a true story. Okay, so we're going to do it again, the same test here, and now I have this cable, obviously, because that's full. This 100-watt USB-C cable is going into the camera right here. So now we have hopefully enough power to get through this. If I out-ramble this one, guys, that's it. I'm shutting the channel down. So, okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, we're going to do the same test, which is that surge capacity, surge rating thing, and everything's in. I got all three. Okay, this is ready. Good. Put these way over here out of the way so you can see. All right, you guys ready? All right, so I'm going to try to turn them on again at the same time. That's the big one here and the two small ones. Okay, all four are on right now, so we can see if there's any kind of a surge. So I got 2480. Oh, okay, so there you go. There you go. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we got an overload at, what was it, 2480, guys? So obviously the surge lasted a little bit, but not a lot. All right, let's reset this here, guys. Okay, to reset it, you just hold down the button and then you reset that AC. Okay. Oh, let's turn these back off here. Okay, let's give it a second. I got to give it a fair chance here. I got to turn them all at the same time, and we're going to see. And then what I'll do is, because I don't know what the surge would be on here, because remember, it's not showing it. I'd have to hook it to a kilowatt meter to see it, and I don't have enough cable to put the kilowatt meter on there. I really wish I did, because I only have so many ports. See, once again, guys, your lack of these ports. If I put the kilowatt meter there, that's going to cover the meter, but you'd see the kilowatt meter, and then there's only either three. See, I need a power strip, guys. I don't have a power strip for some reason. I cannot find a power strip today to save my life. Maybe I'll do another test later on with the power strip with the kilowatt meter, and there'll be a part 2 to this, even though this is 100 hours long already. All right, let's try it again. And this one's still kind of warm, so it's not a perfect surge, but these are cold down here because they're on the floor. All right, so let me do it again here. This one, and we'll see if that power surges. Oh, see? Okay, so yep, see here, 2584 it said, and then the AC is out. So now that we know that it can do a surge, but can it do 4,400 watts? Well, maybe, but once again, it's probably going to be only like a second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on 400 watts. Let's see, I'm going to take off 200 watts. So I'll have this heater, 2, and then that's a 4, so that's 6, and then that big one. So once I reset it here, this one doesn't have an auto on button. It's a safety feature. So I have, once I turn this back, well, you know what, here, because I got to make it as fair as possible here, guys. I wish I had the right equipment, guys. You know, like I said, I'm not a full-fledged channel here. All right, so what you're seeing in the background is the items on the other side of the room, which is a security system, like a backup for a security system that goes to a power station that charges it all the time. and then that power station, if this dies, you know, secondary backup. All right, so we're going to do it again, okay? But now we're only going to do 1500 watts, 400 watts, and 200. So it's 15, 19, 20, 21. So that 21 should be right at the breaking point of the rated, because remember, that's like 23 if all of them are about 2300 watts. So not quite a fair test because the rated power is still higher than the output, and maybe that's where it is. So the surge of this is probably going to be about, I don't know, 15. That's probably going to be about 4.5. That's probably going to be about 2. So that's let's see. Let's just see. All right, I'll turn it on real quick here, and go. Okay, so I got 3 of them on. This one's not on, guys. The one that's sideways is not on. So we got 2356. There, I got that back here. You saw that drop. Okay, so that definitely, now it didn't show the surge, but it's definitely more than what it's rated at. Remember, it was 23 something, so that was definitely higher than the rated capacity of this inverter, because it's only 2200 watts, and I think that was just under 2400, guys. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it, and I'm going to throw the other one on right away while it's all getting ramped up, and now see, we're back up to that almost 2400 watts, guys. I think overall, guys, I don't know about the total surge. I don't think I have the right proper tools to fully test the surge for a long amount of time. But being that I can pull 2358 watts out of this box, better. You know, like I said, I love the system. I really do. I like the system. I spent a year with this system using it 24/7, but I like this one. I just wish, Pecron, I wish you would have had put, and I understand probably why you didn't, if this system could hold 4 batteries, this would have been my final system of what I needed for my workshop, because that would have been 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, so that would have been just under 15,000 watt hours with 4 batteries on this system. I don't need a ton of power, guys. I don't use it. My average draw on a daily basis is 1 to 300 watts, and then when I push it, maybe up to 1,000, and that's usually, if I'm using tools or something like that, or if I use the vacuum cleaner, I notice it goes up to about, or this one, it goes up to about 1700 watts, because vacuum cleaners are really power hungry and the surge is crazy. But I've never had a problem with the vacuum on either system so far. This one I've tried for a year, and this one I've only had for less than a month now. Yeah, but being that can run, like technically, guys, that inverter, especially for as long as it's running, should only be able to do that, and possibly even less than that, because like I said, a lot of times you don't get what's the rated power. You get a little bit less. But I think Pecron did a really good job on this one, guys. I really do. I cannot wait for the E3600, guys. Holy crap, Zilla. Man, guys, do me a favor. Put E3600 can't wait in the comments. I want to see how many people are waiting for that system, because hopefully that's my end game. Like, I really want the AC500. I really want to get a rack system with, like, 25 or 50,000 watt hours. Maybe even 100,000. That's overboard, but what an awesome backup plan that would be. I could go a month off the grid, and with the shop, and whatever happens in the world happens for that month, and I could get done what I need to get done for that whole month, where the the grid is having problems. But that's that was my super end goal, is 100,000 kilowatts. But I don't know if that's a lot of power, guys. A tenth of a megawatt is a ton of power. Holy cow. And then I see guys like Will Prowse running around with megawatts. It's like, geez Louise. All right, I'm not to that level, guys. I'm back to, grade 2 or 3 here. But, all right, let me click this on real quick for 2 seconds, and then we'll end the video here, guys. Thank you so much for lasting this long, guys. This is a long video, and I apologize. But, you like I say, you clicked on the name, I'm going to ramble. That's what I do. So, here, we're above the rated power again. All right, I guess I'll end it there, guys. I think this is a very long but successful test for the power outage. I don't know if I'm going to premiere this one, guys. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do the premiere on this one, because I would love to be able to chat with you guys in real time. I like that. I think that's very powerful for our community, and that we can have questions and comments in real time to figure out you know, what I did wrong, or you know, what I did right, or you know, that way we can all learn, kind of like in a classroom kind of thing. Remember, there's no teacher here. We're all just a bunch of students learning together as a subscriber family, as a team. All right, guys, ramble on, be safe, and I will definitely see you again on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye, guys.